Hello my dear friends, and welcome to my channel. My name is Barbara, and today we're going to be looking at Mars in Virgo. This video is for you if you have this placement. If you're a cross watcher, welcome as well. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. Mars in our natal charts deals with our ambition, how we go about getting our goals, what drives us toward our goals, what motivates us, our motivation. It can also deal with how we handle conflict and our sexuality as well. Virgo is all about health, healing, and being of service. So Mars in Virgo, very interesting placements. I like seeing the earth signs and the Mars placements because it's very grounded. This overall earth plane is earthbound. So a lot of the earth signs thrive down here, specifically Mars in Virgo. This earth plane is very Virgo-like. If you think about it, it's all about routine, routine, routine. Practice makes perfect, getting things done, having that checklist. That's how you thrive on this earth plane. Now, Mars in Virgo is very much going to thrive on this earth plane. They're going to be very much all about a routine. They want to be busy all the time. They're always trying to go above and beyond in every single situation, whatever it is. Most of the time, it's going to be surrounding their goals. For a Mars in Virgo person, at the end of the day, they're able to kind of just knock out as soon as their head touches a pillow. For them, this was a very successful day. When you guys have Mars in Virgo, you guys are going to be very good at whatever you guys set your minds to. Honestly, it could be on a range of things, right? It depends on the combinations in the rest of your natal chart, because once again, you guys are very good at operating down here on this earth plane and this physical reality. You guys do bounce off of Pisces. Keep in mind, all of the signs always do bounce off of their opposition. So Mars in Virgo, you guys are going to bounce off of that Piscean energy. And you'll notice when a Mars in Virgo is imbalanced in any way, shape, or form, maybe they're not getting to their goals, or maybe because it does deal with perfection, a lot of you guys might procrastinate a lot, find excuses not to do things, kind of put them on the back burner, do everything else in your house, maybe cleaning and cooking and whatever on your list, and then finally get to that thing. Or maybe by the time you get to that thing, you guys don't end up doing it. Well, a lot of the time, and I learned this from somebody else, procrastination is highly connected to perfectionism. For you guys, the end goal is to be perfect. You guys are trying to achieve some sort of perfection. And a lot of the time, you're going to notice with Mars and Virgo people, when they get something and they get that goal, because once again, you guys do bounce off of Pisces. So the manifestation game is going to be very strong for you guys, because Virgo is mental, and to manifest anything, you need to have that idea, you need to have that thought. You bounce off of the Piscean energy, where it's like Virgo's highly intuitive. They operate very well on this earth plane in comparison to Pisces, where Pisces kind of goes into the ethers. Virgo energy kind of reels it all back in. So you guys are very good at bringing those dreams into this physical reality. But again, if you guys kind of go into that shadow aspect of Virgo, where it's like, again, you're procrastinating, you're not getting to it for whatever reason, most of the time it's because it's not perfect. It's something that requires maybe a lot of attention, maybe something that requires a lot of time. Sometimes you guys might struggle to put in a lot of time to actually get towards something because of the Mars energy. Mars wants things done fast. It's ruled by Aries, so it's all about like starting something and wanting to get that end result very quickly. It's kind of like that whole like Amazon Prime package type of vibe. You order, it comes the next day. But the thing is, you have Virgo in here. So it's kind of like where Mars is trying to get you guys to go, Virgo is trying to ground. So that might be somewhere where you guys struggle, because it's like you guys might lack patience. That might be a huge struggle for you guys. And it might be something that you guys might have to develop as time goes on, because it's like, again, you guys bounce off of Pisces. So there's an aspect of you, whether it's aware or whether it's subconscious, that has this awareness almost, that it's like in the higher planes where the Pisces energy exists, things happen faster. You think it and it comes through. But it's like the struggle is, it's like down here, you kind of have to put in the work. Virgo is willing to put in the work, but I can see you guys getting frustrated a lot of the time. Or if it's like a task, maybe that's tedious and taking too much time, like you guys are going to be very good at tedious tasks and things that do require a lot of attention to detail, but you guys are going to struggle maybe when it takes too much time. Or it's like you guys might struggle in the area where it's like it's feeling like it's not worth your time, and it kind of feels like it's like, again, you're kind of not getting that cost benefit analysis, where it's like the time and effort is worth the end result. And it's like, if you guys feel like that time is being wasted in any way, shape, or form, or like you guys can allocate that time maybe in an area where you guys are, again, getting things done faster. Or it's like sometimes the Mars and Virgo energy can struggle with like wanting to be the best at something right away. Like you guys can struggle with this because it's like Virgo doesn't want to be criticized. That's the whole thing with Virgo energy. It's like, first of all, they're very hard on themselves. They're super critical of themselves, whether they're aware of it or not. And it's really interesting because it's like this critical energy doesn't come from like an insecurity standpoint. Virgo energy overall, especially Mars and Virgo, it's almost like a confidence energy that they have to them. They know that they can get things done, but it's almost like when they get things, things, it's never quite like they had envisioned because of that Piscean energy. So it's like they get it and then they kind of want to get the next thing and they kind of want to get the next thing. It's that solar plexus chakra that Virgo energy really does deal with, where it's like it's all about maybe not feeling good enough, or like something's not enough, or it's maybe like not like you had envisioned. That shadow of Pisces is this idealist. You guys have this ideal dream, ideal vision, and you guys are very good at anchoring it through because of the fact that it's Earth. You guys are very good at operating down here. You guys know all the rules. You guys know how to get things done. You guys are very good at like goal setting and being efficient when it comes to your goals. But it's like you guys actually get them. You guys actually get these things, and then when you get it, you guys move on to the next thing. So Mars and Virgo, I can see very much kind of like always trying to fix something, always trying to fix their house, maybe always doing like renovations, or always moving, or always changing jobs. Because with this energy, it's like as soon as they hit some sort of goal that they had envisioned for themselves, now it's like on to the next thing. Because also it's a mental sign, right? So they do need that mental stimulation. So let's say you guys are at a job and it's like the job gets boring, boom, you guys might be on to the next job because it's that Mercury energy and it's in the Mars. So it's interesting to see because Mercury is fast overall as a planet, but Mars is very much about forward action and forward momentum. So it's really interesting to see. It's actually the visual that I'm getting is like Mercury spinning super quickly and Mars trying to like direct the energy, kind of like, okay, like let's go over here, like let's go over here. Now a lot of the time you'll notice Mars and Virgo, just any Virgo placements, honestly, you'll notice these people are always the best. And it's interesting to see because you think that Aries is like number one and the best, and Aries is like they can have that spot still, you know? But for Virgo, like Virgo energy really wants to be the best. Like they're really going to notice all the flaws, it's information that they're delivering. They're going to make sure that it's accurate and to the point, because Virgo energy is perfecting a thought. That's the thing when you look at Gemini and Virgo being ruled by Mercury, the difference is like Gemini energy is very much like scattered. It can think about this, it can think about that, it can think about a lot of things. Like they can have a lot of ideas and a lot of like wild ideas, but they can also quickly drop them. That's kind of like the Gemini energy when it's ruled by Mercury. But Virgo is perfecting the thought. Okay, they pick a thought and they perfect it. But the thing is with Virgo energy, it's still mutable at the end of the day. So it's really, really interesting to see because it's like Virgo energy today can be perfecting something, you know, they can be perfecting some sort of craft. It's going to manifest differently in different people's natal charts. Maybe they're going to be into engineering, maybe they're going to be into acting, like it's going to be on a range. Really, really depends on the rest of the chart to see how it's going to manifest. Today they're perfecting that thought, and tomorrow they can change their mind. Maybe they perfected it, or maybe they found something else, or maybe they found something that's more interesting. So that's kind of how the whole mutable energy works when it comes to Virgo. It's like, yes, they can become super investigative and super focused and super like about something. Like they can really put their whole being into something because they really want it to be perfect. They want it to be ideal. These people are going to be the best employees. These people are going to be the best even business people. Like honestly, it's going to be on a huge range. Have that need within to actually be the best, to actually perfect it and to be better than other people. Honestly, that's kind of what it comes down to. It's like in a way, Virgo is always kind of like one-upping people, whether they're aware of it or not, because in a way, it's like they want to show people like I'm better. Like not in like a full of themselves type of way. It's just like, it's just the nature of the energy where it's like I'm the best and I need everybody to know this. So it's interesting to see because like even as I was preparing for this video, who I was seeing psychically was Hermione from Harry Potter. Obviously as she, you know, grew up and Harry Potter kind of evolved as the movies at least, she became a little bit less Virgo-like if you think about it. But in the earlier part of Harry Potter, she was very Virgo-like. Top student, knows everything, know it all, puts people into their place. And that's kind of the thing with the Virgo energy, especially maybe if it's in the shadow. It's Mercury. They're super intelligent. It's all about the mind. So it's like sometimes you guys might want to flex your intelligence where it's like, how did you not know that? I know it. Or like, this is the answer. You got it wrong, when they're maybe more underdeveloped. And as time goes on and they really come into like their sense of self, because Virgo really does deal with the solar plexus chakra. This is just my own observation. I have a video called Everything You Need to Know About Virgo Energy. I'll put it in the description box below if you guys want to learn even more about Virgo energy. Because it does deal with the solar plexus chakra, it's like, it's really interesting because there's a few things that are taking place here. For them, it's all about confidence. It's all about it being perfect. But sometimes if you're going after something all the time and you're maybe always trying to get better and better and better, don't get me wrong, the growth mentality and the growth mindset is amazing to be that way. But it's like the question sometimes comes down to it for Virgo placements overall, specifically for Mars and Virgo, because for you guys, it's going to be all about your career. It's going to be all about your ambitions. It's going to be all about the things that you're putting into action. The question really comes down to is, when is it enough? That's just a rhetorical question, but it really is this. It's like, at what point is it enough? Let's say you buy 5 houses or whatever. At what point is it like, okay, like that's enough? Like you've achieved your goals? Because it bounces off of Pisces. I feel like what they're trying to perfect on this earth plane doesn't necessarily exist, because it's like Virgo energy overall is here to learn and master the concept that perfection doesn't actually exist. That's the whole thing that they're here to basically master. These people are going to be very particular about their schedules. They're going to be so bothered if people are late or like cancel on them. Because in a way they find it as disrespectful because it's like, I could be doing something better with my time. Anytime their schedule kind of shifts around, it really disrupts the routine or the plan they have for themselves, or maybe they gave themselves a deadline to do something and it's like somebody or something disrupts that, it's really going to throw them off. That's the struggle with this energy. And you'll notice, sometimes the Virgo energy, Mars and Virgo, but Virgo energy overall is going to struggle with the whole concept of control. They're always going to want to be in control. They're always going to want to have everything under control. They're always going to want to have like their lives under control. And a lot of the time, this huge need for control comes from when they were younger. Maybe they felt like their lives were spinning out of control. Maybe their environments were out of control. So this is why sometimes like when they're really like deep in that whole like Virgo life and maybe the schedule and everything, and it's like one thing, honestly, it could be the smallest thing that disrupts this like routine that they have. It could really affect them because it's like it deals with control. So another suggestion that I have for this energy is, obviously at the end of the day, everyone has free will, but it's interesting because I wrote about this in one of my books and I wrote, allow it to spin out of control. So it's like a good test for this energy would be to let things kind of be out of control a little bit. Maybe switch up the schedule, maybe switch up your routine a little bit, start introducing new energies. Because the thing is, this energy can become very flat and it can become very stagnant. This is where the boredom kicks in for the Virgo energy because they know that there's more. That's the whole thing with Mars and Virgo, because it's bouncing off of Pisces. It's almost like they feel like they can grab it out of the ethers. Everything that this world has to offer, they don't get it. They're hard on themselves. Or what I've been wanting to actually say in this video the whole time, and now it's coming through at the perfect time, is they can go into the shadow of Pisces and they can go into escapism. They can go into avoidance. They can go into addictions. Addictions are on a range. It could be overthinking. It can be distracting yourself with like different things. It could be being busy all the time where it's like you're avoiding some sort of goal or you're avoiding some sort of project. You can really go into this huge avoidance / escapism energy, and it's like this is now an imbalanced Virgo. It's like they're not in their element and now they're super into this like shadow energy, and sometimes it might be a struggle to pull themselves out because it's like Virgo, when they're in their element, everything is in some sort of order. They might have a specific diet, or they might eat at the same time every day, or they might even calculate in terms of like, these are my meals, like I eat at 3 p.m. and then I eat again at 5 p.m. or I eat every 3 hours, or I eat every 5 hours, or intermittent fasting, like whatever it is, Virgo is on that strict schedule. And it's like when it goes into the shadow, or maybe when they don't feel fulfilled, or maybe when that goal isn't coming through, or maybe they're avoiding that goal for whatever reason, honestly, it can be on a huge range. It's like, it's in that solar plexus chakra, this like energy that's like taking place, right? Where it's like, again, it's kind of pushing them into this different direction. Maybe it's going to be now like spinning out of control in terms of your diet. Maybe the diet's all over the place. So it's like, you kind of want to find a balance is really what that is. All that is great, having the routine and all these things, but it's like sometimes if you're trying to bring things through and you're trying to bring new energies through and new ideas, maybe new people, well, they might not come through if you're in this constant like wheel, hamster wheel. And then it's like I go into the opposite energy where it's like it's fully gone into this shadow. It's the shadow of Pisces, where it's like it's really overindulging and it's really going into just like addictions of some sort, escapism. It could be escaping through the mind. It could be overthinking. So it's actually really interesting because it's something that I've noticed that people kind of go through extreme versions of whatever like that trait is until they kind of neutralize it within themselves. Overall, like these people are going to notice everything. They're going to notice all of the flaws, all of the details. They're always going to want to be better. And another thing I want to say for Mars and Virgo energy is, I know a huge theme these days is healing and the healing journey, and that's amazing. Or whatever, if you're not in that world, maybe you guys are in like self-growth and personal development and just being better. I've noticed Virgo energy can sometimes become fixated on that, like just focus on healing all the time, or just like looking for flaws within themselves, and like maybe sometimes it's pushing certain things away where it's like they might kind of feel like I have to be a certain type of way to attract this job opportunity, or to attract this type of friend, or to attract this type of partner, like whatever it is, they might feel like this without even realizing, because it's like that Virgo energy can get so focused on something. They can get so focused on a thing or an end goal that it's like sometimes they don't see things that are taking place around them, and then in turn this energy can become very critical of the people around them. That's the thing. It's like this energy can then start nitpicking on everything around them, because a lot of the time I find with this energy, it's like if they feel like their worlds are spinning out of control in one way, shape, or form, they start to kind of put that on other things around them. This is kind of where they take on projects. The projects can be maybe renovations. If it's not renovations, it might be in their partners. If it's not in their partners, it could be in themselves. Like whatever it is. What I will say though for this energy is Virgo is way more critical of themselves than they are of people around them, because what's interesting with the Virgo energy is if it goes into the shadow, it can also become very much a doormat energy. Like it's something you wouldn't expect, but it's like they can be very much of service, and they can become very much overgiving, and they can become very much about other people, that they can go into this like doormat energy where it's like you're just like accepting things that they shouldn't. So same thing maybe in like jobs, because it is in Mars. Maybe it's your managers that walk all over you, or your colleagues, or maybe you kind of feel like you need to be kind of like a helping hand for everybody at work. And it's interesting because if this energy goes too much into that overgiving and constantly being of service to other people, then they're not focusing on themselves, and they might might feel even more inadequate. And then it kind of takes them into that downward spiral where it's like maybe they stop taking care of their health, or maybe they stop taking care of their physical appearance, because Virgos are really going to take care of their physical appearance. Honestly, if you ever want to know the best skincare or anything to do with like fashion and beauty, the people who are going to know the best products, like the ones that are top notch or maybe like elite vibes, are definitely going to be Virgo placements. Like you definitely want to ask Virgo people. Something that I do also want to mention in this video is a lot of the time Virgo energy, specifically in the Mars, is going to very much be a golden child type of person or archetype even. It's like when you guys were younger, you guys were probably really good at school, or maybe you guys took all your projects very seriously. Maybe you had a whole family involved if it was like some sort of like construction type of project or whatever it was, like construction paper or like building something for school, these types of things. Like you guys always wanted to be the top student, maybe be the best. Maybe you guys got your attention from your family for being this type of role, and then it kind of perpetuates throughout your life. Now, what I will say also that's coming through to mention in this video, a lot of the time Virgo people attract people who are maybe clumsy, attract people who are maybe like messy, because that's the thing too that I forgot to mention. Virgo is very much about being clean and perfect and all these types of things. Like they want everything to be ideal, even the way that they dress. They're going to be the type that like irons their clothes or like steams their clothes. Like they want everything to be perfect. The everyday person might not notice, but they'll notice. So you guys might attract people into your life that are messy or like the complete opposite. You guys might also attract people who are very incompetent, especially if it comes to work or something of that sort, because it's like the Virgo energy can't stand this. Because it's like they just don't understand, like, why can't things be done properly? Or it's like if you're at a job, like how can you make so many mistakes? This is something that Virgo people are always going to question themselves, because let's say they just got hired at a job, they're going to want to be the best at that job. They're going to want to do everything perfectly. They're always going to cross those T's and dot the I's. They're going to have like everything where it's supposed to be. And then you guys might see somebody else's work. Let's say it's the same type of job you guys are doing, and you're going to be kind of like, how do you even still have this job? Or like, how do these people keep making all these mistakes? With that being said, Virgo's going to struggle with criticism. Part of them, honestly, is trying to be perfect, because it has something to do with the parents. When you guys were growing up, maybe the parents were critical and you guys are always trying to protect yourselves from criticism, so you're always trying to be perfect. So when someone criticizes you guys, it can hit that solar plexus chakra, that ego. It can really affect you guys. That's something you guys have to eventually kind of transmute, learn that like everyone's gonna have criticisms. Honestly, at the end of the day, I'm sure that you guys yourselves have opinions about other people. So that's the same thing. It's like if people say something about you, it's like not to take it to heart. It's gonna be very challenging though to not take it to heart, because you guys work so hard to have this perfect image. Now, what I will also say about the messy people, that's the thing. Like you guys don't like these people, but it's like in a way these individuals are kind of showing you that it's okay to sometimes relax and to not be so go all the time. But that's the struggle. And just one more thing that I also wanted to mention earlier was sometimes Mars and Virgo can take people on like projects. That's the thing, because for them everything is work. It can be like maybe their partners feel like projects, or maybe their friends feel like projects, or maybe when they're at work it might feel like everyone's incompetent and they're the ones who are just going to take on the whole job. Or if it's at school, it's going to be the whole project. It's going to be like, okay, well, you guys are going to do it properly anyways, I'll just do it myself. That could be something that takes place with Mars and Virgo. Now, what I will say in terms of sexuality, and then I'm going to wrap up this video because I have been touching on this in all of the videos just briefly. Mars and Virgo, it's interesting because it's like you would think that these people sexually are going to be very standoffish, be very critical, but what I'm going to say is Virgo, out of all the signs, is known to be the freakiest sign, first of all. Second of all, Virgo is like, because they're a perfectionist, even in this experience, they're going to try to perfect that. And Virgo energy is also very much a giver. So in this energy, they're going to definitely be trying to give a lot to their partners. But overall, cleanliness is going to be super important for the Mars and Virgo. So in terms of their partners, they're going to need their partners to be clean. They're going to have to be clean, even in terms of like, just like maybe their partner's living space, or even friends, just like anyone that Virgo, Mars and Virgo person engages with, and that person is messy, that's going to be a huge turn off. And the Virgo energy is just like, how can you be like this? They just don't understand, because it's like they're very clean. And Mars and Virgo people can also get like easily disgusted of things too. So like that could be another reason also in terms of like their own living space, why they want things to be clean. Like things like mold and like anything that's like gross, like they could get easily grossed out by stuff like this as well. Okay, so with all of that being said, I'm going to wrap up the Mars and Virgo video here. I do hope you guys enjoyed my Mars and Virgo video. Make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe, and I hope you all have a beautiful rest of the day.